Take two. Hi and welcome to lesson 3 in my series on the guitar playing of Jimmie Rodgers. Started you out with just the basic chord progressions, really the beginnings, the foundation of his style. Now we're going to add on the fancy stuff. We're going to start out with introductions, and many of his slower songs and even some of his faster songs featured some really cool introductions. And in the introductions you'll hear many of the ideas such as double stops, single string runs, and bass runs that you'll hear in his solos and his turnarounds and also in the fills that he uses. Let's start out with a tune in E. So our first position E chord that we learned in the first lesson. And let's add an introduction to that progression, how to kick it off. So let's start out with an example from a tune called In the Evening. This is based on that tune. I think there might be 2 guitars playing on this, so it's hard to hear sometimes with all the instruments on those old recordings. But this is pretty darn close, and the same ideas are pretty much note for note. This is a good introduction for that progression that I showed you in the first lesson. I'll play it for you one time and then we'll break it down. Alright, let's take it from there. It's not perfect, but I can teach you ideas. Starts out with a double stop. This is a typical Jimmie Rodgers type thing. He's playing in the key of E, so if I put my first finger on the 10th fret of the first string and my third finger or ring finger on the 12th fret of the second string, got E7th double stop, a lick. So he starts out something like that. It's hard to hear how he's finishing that up, but the first part he's sliding in from 1 fret below, like that. Then he goes to this double stop. Got my first finger on the 9th fret of the first string, second finger on the 10th fret of the second string. And it sounds like he's just kind of getting those open, either the open first string or maybe even the open first string, second string. Something like that. And then he's coming up here. And I don't know if there's another guitar doing this or if it's just Jimmie doing this. I have no idea. I'd have to look at the song credits to see. But you hear this bass. Either he's playing it by itself and then throwing in the B7th chord, or he's playing it kind of with the chord shape. It sounds more like he's doing it. So he's playing it with maybe his second finger and then throwing in the B7th chord just briefly. So the whole thing so far. Something like that. Here we go. And then he's going back to this. So it's 1, 2, 3. So he's going to the same places and then taking that same lick and moving it down 2 frets. So his first finger is on the 7th fret of the first string. I have a kind of an E lick that's real common in country blues and also in electric blues. So he's going. And the bass is thumping. So he's doing that. Whoops. So it's going to the single string run, and he's ended it up from here. It sounds like he's hitting the open first and second strings. And then he's coming here, 3rd fret, 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So it's like this. Then he's getting the open 2nd string and then hammering on open 3rd string, hammering on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then open 1st string. So that whole single string run with the double stop with the bass on top of that somehow. And that's basically what he's doing. And then to wrap it up, he's just kind of droning on the E chord, getting the open first and second strings with the bass. Just playing that till he gets to the B7. And then into the first verse of the song. Which we'll get to, playing the fills and what he's doing on the verses here in just a little bit. So let's play that one more time through. Let me try to play it a little better for you. And then into the song. So there is one Jimmie Rodgers introduction. A lot of the ideas, double stop in those positions, and then the single string runs. We're going to use those over and over again in different ways, and that's really what Jimmie Rodgers did.